My name is Andy. I'm just a regular lazy guy. I befriend the mysterious local who gave me his video rental store right on the border between universes. The inventory's low, so the shop's computer calls possible customers that have tapes. And these are the adventures of Universal Line Video.
Hello?
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 Is this Will Hines?
Yes, it is.
Hi, I'm Andy from Universal Line Video. Do you have a copy of Citizen Kane?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I've been meaning to return it, but I haven't got around to it yet.
cool. Well, can you just return it back to Universal Line Video? It might be hard to get to. It's in between universes.
Yeah.
Uh,
How long do I have?
I don't know, just as soon as you can. I mean, I'm in no rush. I'm kind of trying to rebuild the store. I just kind of inherited it recently, so.
Give me 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay.
I'll get it. I promise to get it within 2 weeks, maybe earlier.
Did you watch it? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
You haven't seen Citizen Kane?
I know it.
Yeah. I watched it just because it's like so iconic. I was curious, like what the fuss is.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot about it, and I know like all the things, and I saw that movie with Lee Schreiber, RKO.
Oh.
Did you see that?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a movie where he's like he's Citizen Kane. He's Orson Welles, and he makes Citizen Kane, and
wow.
all this. Yeah, it's kind of a fun movie. And John Malkovich is, I think, Mank in it.
Okay.
Who later was played by
Gary
Oldman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of curious, but I don't know enough about it, and also I feel like I don't know. It's just one of those movies that I have not like gone around to see, and I feel like maybe I'm some kind of uncultured couth for.
No.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane's one of those boring old movies that like is not fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some old movies are really fun, and
but you liked it.
I liked it okay. I mean, you ever like a I don't know, like a serious book that's like hard to read, but you also do find it rewarding, but it takes a lot of work to finish.
Yeah. There was did you ever heard of it's called Collapse by, I think his name is Jared Diamond.
The documentary?
No, I don't know if it is a documentary, but it's a book.
Okay.
And it's really interesting. It's just about like just about why societies fall, kind of.
Yes,
thing.
there's a video version of that, like an interview with this guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I started reading. I got a panic attack. I was like, oh my god! Like.
Yeah, he's very convincing. The video is crazy. It's just like every time I've predicted, I've been totally right.
Yeah.
And I'm predicting that it's all over.
Yeah. Yeah. So like
it's a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, there's sometimes some stuff is heavy. You're just like, can I just watch like Wild
Lethal
Things?
Weapon. Yeah. Wild Things. Wild Things stresses me out too, but I know what you mean.
Why does Wild Things stress you out?
Everybody's lying, and there's like, everyone's.
They're
like,
not lying to you.
Just watching people lie to each other and blackmail each other stresses me out sometimes. I've tried to write movies, but I always have everybody get along, and it doesn't work.
I got a pitch for you guys. A movie, no strife, no conflict.
Everyone's cool, and they stay that way.
Yep, it's all hunky dory. Yeah, I mean, but Citizen Kane, I feel is like kind of analogous, from what I understand about it, to like life, where you get older and you kind of become the thing that you hate.
Yeah, that does happen. I do remember like some sequences from it really stuck out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the greatest movie of all time. You would think that some of those sequences would stick out.
I don't know how that. I find that strange that it got. I think it would be a lot more fun if it was like a little indie movie that you discovered, but like it can't live up to the hype of being this like renowned
Yeah.
film.
I
No, and no movie could. You know, I don't know any movie that could be like, oh, the greatest movie ever.
yeah. I don't know if it's the greatest movie. I don't know. Like
The
I
most like critically acclaimed. You know what I mean? It's always like high in every like list of
right.
important movies or like well ranked. I mean, that's why I watched it. I just like felt left out.
Hmm.
You know,
It's
what's
good.
going on with this thing?
I feel like that like does like in my opinion what has more value than like Schindler's List, which is a beautiful moving movie,
Sure.
and it's like has so much meaning, and it's just so stirring, and it's about something, and it's true, and it's just like
Yeah.
it is scary, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah. Yeah.
and haunting. But I've seen Animal House 100 times,
Right.
and
And that's so
Schindler's List
that's.
I've only seen once and I had to
I
stop
think I.
watching.
Yeah, I think I've seen it once, maybe like one and a half. Like it's been like on TV, and I've watched like part of it again or something.
I just I
I've
don't.
seen Hoosiers so many times, and I don't even know if I think it's that good.
They
Die
win.
Hard, I've seen like 20 times.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, but I think going back to like maturing and more maturing. I don't know which one you're supposed to say.
I don't know either. I've always said maturing,
I
but I
think
don't.
yeah, but then like I remember like some like voiceover pronounced it maturing or
I've
mature,
heard that too. I've heard that
and
too.
I'm always like,
It
oh,
sounds better.
well, it sounds
It
like how you're
sounds
supposed to say it.
it sounds like proper. It sounds posh.
Yes. Oh, I'm so mature.
I have matured.
Uh, but like I
I
feel
don't know. Citizen Kane, like, I wonder how. I guess also there's like how good a movie was relative to its time. I think like Citizen Kane might have been ahead of its time.
it
And
was.
now it like looks kind of stilted and slow, and we only see how it fails to be modern by our standards, but maybe at the time it like blew the critics away.
Um,
It's also a
yeah.
really pretty movie, and I think like a lot of movie critics, I don't know, weirdly, they don't off. I think like if the movie looks pretty, they just go nuts, and
Hmm.
they don't even worry about whether it's a good story or something. And I think like normal people are way happier just with a good story, and they care less about how pretty it looks.
I think all that is true, but I think the main thing is it's just as long as it didn't like bore the shit out of people
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the main thing. Is just like
yeah.
I think you can have any kind of movie. Like I really liked Licorice Pizza.
I got to see it still.
I liked it a lot. And it's
Everyone I know who's seen it loves it. So
right. And I'm not gonna like sell you on it, but I'm just gonna tell you that it has that the thing of like just being kind of a non-linear story where it's like a
yeah, I
bunch
don't
of
mind that.
things. Yeah, a bunch of things happen, and I'm not saying that makes every movie that's like that is like amazing or anything, but it just kind of makes it interesting. It's like almost a little more digestible. You're getting like these little interesting little bits
Yeah.
that's like kind of tasty. Uh, and it's kind of about like a lot of different things too. So like, I think Citizen Kane, from what I understand, he runs for office. So there's like a
Yeah, a lot of
little.
different things happen. He's like,
It's
you
like his
know,
whole
a
life,
poor kid who's enters into wealth, and then like
right?
he's a sort of do-gooder journalist.
Hmm.
He's kind of a maverick
I didn't know
guy
he was a
because
journalist.
yeah, that's his main. He's like a Rupert Murdoch. Like he uses his money to just like buy tons of newspapers and become powerful because he controls so much media.
Mm, that's interesting.
It's based on William Randolph Hearst
I didn't know
newspapers.
he was Hearst the reporter.
I mean, Hearst was a newspaper publisher. He wasn't a report. I say journalist like he ran newspapers. He wasn't like, he didn't have like a little notebook with like a press tag in his fedora. He
Right.
bought a newspaper.
Okay.
But he does write essays occasionally in the movie.
Okay.
Like he's dating he leaves his wife for an opera singer, and she's or a woman who wants to be a singer, and she's not great, and she has a big show that he produces,
Mm-hmm.
and his own newspaper is going to give her a bad review, and he stumbles upon the reporter who is his employee writing a bad review of his girlfriend's show, and he yells at him and then takes over writing and finishes the bad review himself in some weird act of self-punishment. And he actually writes a bad review of his own girlfriend's show that he produced.
Oh,
It's kind of a wild sequence.
that is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Uh, that
And
would
before that, he gets married to a woman, and they fall out of love, and they sort of show that in a pretty fast sequence that's kind of interesting.
that's interesting. I gotta see it. I guess I should go watch it. They don't have it here. I think you have the.
I have it. I have it.
Yeah, you have it. But
I'll bring it in.
All right, I'll watch it in 2 weeks when you bring it.
Yeah, yeah.
But no,
Maximum. 2 weeks maximum.
2 weeks maximum. But the main, I think, yeah, I kind of just thought it's, you know what the interesting thing about Citizen Kane is that I feel if I watch it, I might be like, oh my god, this is kind of like me, like, or like,
Yeah. I think like some, yeah. I think it happens that you relate to the guy sometimes.
yeah,
I mean, any good movie, right?
yeah. I think that's always strange. Like I remember like listening to Eminem, and I was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I had nothing like Eminem's life at all. I don't know why I'm relating to this.
I mean, I relate to like David Bowie songs, and he sings about like spacemen coming down. And being, I'll be like, I get it, man.
Yeah.
Sort of like while I'm listening to it.
Yeah.
Tell me something from Licorice Pizza. Tell me just like any one thing.
Any one thing?
Tell me something that happens. Tell me
Something.
cool.
So describe a licorice pizza moment. There's a moment where he get like I kind of thought. I thought this was kind of a weird turn in the movie that I was not expecting, and it feels like. I feel like in anything else, it would feel like. Well, it's the 80s, so we got, or the, whatever, I think it's the 70s. It's like the 70s, so we're going to have to do something about this kind of thing. Like, it's like, it doesn't feel like a reference. Does it actually feel like, it feels like kind of organic almost. It doesn't feel like forced in there for nostalgia, but he like, at one point he gets into selling waterbeds.
Okay.
And it's like, there's like a moment where, like he just like you see him walk by a store, he sees a waterbed, and I thought there is like a moment where you think he's gonna be like, "Oh, waterbed, like who? It's been referenced in the movie," kind of thing. But
Right,
then
right.
but given the character, he's like very like enterprising, and he's not like this, but you know how like Max Fisher in Rushmore is very like is like a go-getter kind of person.
Yes, yeah. He's
Like
a doer.
he like versus like just seeing a cool thing, he's like, oh, I'm gonna try to market, like I'm gonna get in this business kind of
Yeah.
thing. And it's kind of like it's such like an interesting turn. I didn't expect there to be it to be about like how this guy's like like an enterprising young man. I thought it was going to be kind of like this coming of age, just moping around. Like, and there's a fair amount of that too, a little bit, but it is like it is really good in that way that it's just kind of like kind of is not what you think it's going to be. I think the ending is good, and I'm really surprised that they did this ending.
Oh, okay.
But so like for
Man, it sounds good.
I recommend it. I have a screener if you want to borrow it, but
I guess when I come by, I'll pick it up. Is it a DVD screener?
yeah.
What do you play him in?
What?
Do you have a DVD player? What do you play your
I don't
DVDs
have one
in?
here at the store.
But just in your life, like how do you watch DVDs?
I watch things on the Xbox.
Oh right. Yeah.
I watch things on the Xbox. We had a DVD player, and then we got rid of it.
Yeah, you didn't need it.
We didn't need it. And somebody had an old Xbox, and we were like, well, yeah, we'll take that. And I think that's why we took it, because the Xbox was just as good. I think that's what we have. No, PlayStation. My wife's in the other room doing inventory and helping me with the
That's
stuff.
very nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's strange. Yeah, it's a weird world now, you know. I feel like everything's up in the air about like what you can, where entertainment can come from, or how it could be presented, or it just.
Yeah.
And then like the one thing I didn't expect is it just to be like there's no tangible thing now. Like it's just
Yeah, everything's like streaming in the internet. That
yeah,
is, it's strange. Yeah.
which is probably good because I don't see.
I guess it means less clutter.
Yeah, but the weird thing is like uh the like there's like a lot of unions related to show business that waste so much money giving you screeners of movies that you have on streaming services.
Right.
They're like, "Oh, did you see this on our streaming channel? Well, here's a screener of it too that you already like. Why like
Yeah.
can't they
I
like?"
feel like that's for the senior citizens who just won't figure out passwords.
But I feel like if they're not willing to figure out passwords or streaming, I feel like they're probably not gonna figure out the DVD player either.
Yeah.
Like, or they're not going out to see movies. They're just staying in and watching the same old movie that they saw 20 years ago. They're just like, see, Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
This is
Breaking
nothing's.
Away. They're just watching Breaking Away.
That's such a great movie, though.
Yeah.
I highly recommend that. That's such a great movie.
I haven't seen it in a long time. Sometimes those like feel good movies that made me feel like $1,000,000, you watch them again and it's like, where's the black people? Or it's like you realize like there's something like really wrong with society. That the movie won't be about that, but it like accidentally shows you something from the past that's like kind of a bummer.
Yeah. I can see that, but like, is it weird to say that like the townies in the cutters in the Breaking Away are essentially the black people? They're like
They're
the
oppressed. They're oppressed and they're like low status
and they
like,
treat everybody treats them
like garbage. Yeah.
like garbage. I think that's the I think that's kind of one of the issues going on with.
I didn't mean to bring up race. That was a weird example. I just
Oh
meant,
no,
like,
it's
I just meant like sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes I'll watch, or I don't know. You'll watch some old movie and it'll be like, oh, there's no women in it. There's no love story, or like the woman's in it for 2 scenes. I don't know. I feel like a lot of this stuff gets kind of ruined by being aware of more. It's almost like I wish I could just accept the movie on its own terms that it wants me to accept it on, but it's hard to do that with old movies sometimes.
sometimes it is. I think if it's just like blatantly overt, uh, there's there's this movie I really love. Uh, John Steinbeck wrote it. It's called Lifeboat by Alfred Hitchcock.
Steinbeck wrote that movie?
Yeah, he wrote it. He wasn't
Wow.
happy. He was not happy with
The
final
movie.
the movie because he felt like it got kind of lost. But I think he was essentially. I think he was kind of like maybe the beginning part of it, and I think that's why he kind of never wrote anything for movies. Like
Oh, okay.
after that, uh, and like in the movie, there is one black character,
Okay.
and they have like I don't want to repeat it, like, but I love the movie, but that is like the only part because
They say something
he has like
racist or like.
they have like a nickname for him,
Oh, okay.
and it's just like they just like when
Yeah.
when they're first finding people to come on the boat.
Yeah.
They say the nickname to him, and I'm like, okay, all right, okay. Like there is like there's like beautiful moments with him where he they're trying to decide what to do with this Nazi, and then they're like, what do you think, Joe? And then he's like, do I have a vote? Do I have an opinion? They're like, of course you do, like kind of thing. Like it is like really beautiful, strong moments, but
Yeah.
there's like a lot of things about that are very problematic with the character. At one point, he's like, they say that he used to be like a pickpocket, and
Okay.
they needed him to do a pickpocket thing on the boat, and I was just like, this is why couldn't they just make this any other character or like
Yeah.
but like I don't know, it's still like a good movie I think, and it's just of its
I'm
time.
sure it is.
It's of its time.
I saw this. Somebody recommended me the movie Holiday Inn with Bing Crosby, and and it's like for the most part, it's like this sort of sweet rom com
Mm-hmm.
of a Bing Crosby. Somehow he's on the run from like some mobsters or something, and he's fallen in love with a woman at this hotel that he's hiding out at, and he wants to stay to like try to woo her, but he's also hiding, or maybe it's from her ex-husband or something. I don't remember. It's like a farce,
Yeah.
and it's a sweet light movie. And at one point he's supposed to perform. He and the girl are going to sing for all the people in the hotel. They're always finding reasons for Bing Crosby's character to sing.
Yeah.
And but he realizes right before the performance that the people he's running from are going to be in the audience for some reason. Mm-hmm. So he proposes they do it in blackface. so that he'll be hidden, so that he won't be recognized. And he puts on blackface, and I think the woman does too, and they sing like a jazz number. And the actual the song is not like, if you just heard a recording of the singing, it doesn't sound like, it's not like doing like some caricature of a black man singing,
Yeah.
He does like a little scat and a little jazz. I don't think it, from what I remember, I don't think it sounds, but it looks crazy, He's like just straight up. But in the context of the movie, it's like, well, that was something people did. If they were going to sing an old jazz number, they put black face paint on.
Yeah, we gotta respect these people. We gotta make sure they know where it's coming from.
This is black music. We don't want to culturally appropriate.
That's why they were doing it. They were just trying to be sensitive.
Giving credit where credit's due.
And they're like, I bet you didn't know this. A black person did it.
That's kind of what it was. And so like,
yeah.
And then that ends and the movie continues, and that's like not like part of the movie, and it's like it's like, well, what do you do with that? Like, the movie is not presenting it as, we're really gonna shit on black people with this segment here, and like they're oblivious. In fact, the movie ends and Bing Crosby's character makes a big monologue about religious tolerance and tolerating Muslims and Jews and Christians and atheists, and how everyone should like love each other. It's sort of this big idealist speech at the end.
That's hilarious.
And the person who recommended it to me, we were watching it, and she was like, "Oh, I forgot about this part." Like, we're in the middle of the blackface sequence, and it's like, oh. Yeah, it's pretty odd.
Yeah, that's it's always. Yeah, I mean I think there's sometimes it's like kind of okay when I'm not saying. I feel like it's kind of like it's out there though.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just a time capsule of the times and stuff. Like, it's almost interesting. Like, it was sort of like, wow, I guess this was something you could see if you went to see a concert. Like, the guy might slap on some blackface paint and sing a song and then wipe it off and keep going and be like, wow, that's just bizarre. I mean, like, I wasn't like angry or like offended, but I was like, oh, this sequence is like dominating my perception of the film.
Yeah. Well, I know you're a big Marx Brothers fan.
Yeah.
And I do like Day at the Races.
Oh, right. And they have that weird segment where Harpo like plays for all the black kids, right? And like leads them around like Pied Piper sort of.
But it's like, but that sequence is like, that sequence I have a lot of issues with in general, because they do blackface because they need to get away. And they put blackface.
Oh, okay.
And then like, I remember Harpo puts on blackface half of his face, like down.
Yeah.
And like the other Groucho and Chico like just do full
blackface.
But like the songs, I think the songs are like beautiful that they do.
Yeah.
Who's that man? It's Gabriel. I forget what the name is. And then there's like this guy. The thing that's really amazing, aside from giving like stage time to black actors and dancers, is that there's this big guy. He's bigger than me. Like, he had to be like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
He does this like dance move in it that's like amazing. He does like a split.
Oh, wow.
Like, and he's like 300 pounds, and it's like amazing.
Incredible.
And yeah, and he's an amazing dancer. And I was just like, uh, like the interesting thing to me is just like I think it's pretty amazing, but like I feel like I think you're gonna wash away that stuff kind of thing. Like if you don't like watch it or don't if you got rid of it or if you were like
Yeah, yeah. You
if there was
can't.
like you would lose some amazing stuff and like there's like the other thing I think is interesting is that Amos and Andy were so like that was so influential to sitcoms is like I don't know if
Yeah, when I was a kid, Amos and Andy was like, you could still find it on television,
yeah but the
and they were
weird thing
like Amos and Andy comic books and stuff. They were like used, but they weren't too hard to find.
yeah but the like the original format to Amos and Andy is what sitcoms follow today. You have one
Oh,
guy
really?
that's like I forget I'm not going to say I'm like an expert, but like from watching it, I totally recognize the archetypes. They had like one friend was like a little bit more not as bright as the other one, and the other one was more of the straight man. And then they had
Okay.
like one scheming friend who's like kind of like a Kramer, like, or he's like constantly coming up with like elaborate, weird like schemes that they get involved in, and it's like it's a lot of like really like what you see today on television. It's all there, you know. You have like one friend who's like a little more optimistic, and you have the other friend who's a little more like optimistic and flighty, and then you have the other friend who's like more grounded and pessimistic, and then you have like a wild card friend, and then like other people they meet and like
Hmm.
their love interest. It's just like it's so crazy how much television and entertainment has borrowed from it, and that it's
Yeah.
been like so diluted. It's like it's kind of weird to just be like you can't this shouldn't be seen. It has to be because I think it's part of the big thing. It's kind of the horrible argument for why everybody should need to watch a Birth of a Nation. Just for the simple fact that it was like probably it was the I think it was like the first film that was ever like shot
Like a
cinematically. Uh,
right, right, right.
from
I
what
mean,
I
Birth
had,
of a Nation,
it's
as opposed to
terrible.
some of these other examples, it's like arguing for the KKK and like presenting them as good guys,
Yeah.
right? Like,
But I think that's the problem with the KKK. They haven't had any really true visionary like artists working for them doing anything like provocative. Like
yeah,
they, you know, like somebody like I guess the closest thing they have is like Mel Gibson, like who is like a good filmmaker, I think.
oh yeah, we
But
love
he's like
Braveheart.
out of his mind and racist and crazy. And like that's the only person that can be like, yeah, you know, we got Mel. Like but yeah, I don't know if they can that's what Mel Gibson should be doing, I guess. I don't know. Oh boy. So,
Um,
hmm?
yeah. Well, I should get this movie back to you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess somewhere between thought and space time.
Well, let me write that down.
Just
You're between thought and space time.
I don't know. I kind of don't even know how I get to the store every day to work.
Well, I mean, I got there to rent it, so I think if I just don't think about it too much, my feet will take me there.
Okay. Um. Well. Cool.
Well,
I,
nice to talk to you.
yeah, it was nice talking to you. Will Hines. Great.
Yep.
Um.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.